Well, Washington focused sharply on the debt ceiling, but let's not forget about jobs in all of this. Millions of unemployed Americans still struggling to find work, millions more underemployed, unemployment 9.2%. Jeff Joerres is the chairman and CEO of ManpowerGroup, joins us now from Milwaukee. Jeff, thanks for being here, and let's get to that first. As we see this impasse continue in Washington on the debt ceiling, is there a significant impact on jobs?
Well, I mean, you can talk about them being linked, and they are. They're a bit distant, but they're linked. What we're hearing from so many of our clients, and it's not new from what you've been hearing as well, is anytime you have this uncertainty and kind of on this razor-thin kind of margin that companies are dealing with, they will make decisions to hold off and hit the pause button very quickly. And right now, the pause button is on. It's just stuck right there, and no one is letting us kind of get any kind of visibility to say, finally, I'll plan. And one of the things they plan for are hiring people.
Let's say that we see lawmakers reach a consensus, some sort of deal, whether it's a mini deal or a grand compromise, as it's been dubbed, on the debt ceiling by the August 2nd deadline. Moody's and S&P have still sort of harshly warned that they may indeed downgrade our credit rating, which has never happened in the history of this country. So we don't know what the exact outcome would be, but you can expect that that would mean a pretty big blow to the job market, right?
No doubt about it. What you would find is if you did some type of grand deal and it was acceptable and really cut to some of our cost, what you would find is that probably would ease the market. But if you get a kind of that proverbial kick the can down the street,
right,
you're going to get small businesses and large saying, I'm going to wait. I don't know what this is going to do yet for my health of my company.
There's a recent McKinsey study out that shows that 1 in 5 men, 20% of American men right now, are unemployed, aren't working. Now, that's not just because they can't find jobs. It's also due to some on disability, incarceration, et cetera. But what do you think the real story is behind that number? How much weight should we give it?
Well, I think it's pretty difficult to look at that and say this is really an issue for the men. Now, clearly, the numbers don't lie. More men are out of work, or as you said, are incarcerated or other places, which have huge effects on society and the economy. When a company looks at it, they're looking at where can they reduce if they need to in their light industrial or shop floor. That tends to be more men. We are now starting to see and have seen for a while that has started to come back. In no way are we seeing companies making a decision based on men or women on who to hire or who to let go. And in fact, there's tests, of course, that say you can't do that sort of thing.
When you look at the sectors where you see growth, the companies that you talk to, where you put people to work, are those sectors that generally hire men, or are they sectors that generally hire women, or do they hire either?
Well, you know, clearly what we're seeing is those that have seen some of the downturn after this little mini upturn that we've had are still the manufacturers, and the manufacturers, while most of it is light manufacturing that we do, are still more male-dominated. But when we look at companies looking at who they're going to hire, I have not heard or experienced a company saying, let's hire more women for certain reasons or men. They are going out and trying to find the best fit at the best price.
The McKinsey study just out on employment also showed, and this was a pretty terrifying thing to see, that the United States is not going to have enough workers with the right education to fill open jobs in 2020. So we're still 9 years out from that. Is that a trend that can be reversed? Do you agree with that finding that the skill level of workers in this country is not matching the open jobs?
Clearly it's not, and those opening jobs, I think, in the study says that we're going to probably be short about 20 million jobs, which is really going to affect the economy. No doubt this can be turned around so that in 9 to 10 or 15 years from now we don't have those issues, but we have to move quickly. We have to look at our immigration policy. We have to look at our technical schools. We have to look at our universities. We have to look at what the government is doing in the way of putting responsibility on the individual to learn, and what companies are doing to have their own training programs. There's not a silver bullet that's going to fix this labor issue. There are going to be multiple facets to fix this, and that means it's much harder to do as a result.